IVM.
Hello and welcome to Football Shootball. After a really long weekend with 3-4 days of matches, we are here. This is Season 2, Episode 11. We are calling it Anokha because it is a very special episode. It is a very unique episode. An episode like this, or what we're going to discuss, shall not happen very often in a season. And that is Fulham winning. Yes, Fulham have won. Fulham have scored. They scored a penalty against Leicester, who could have gone second ahead of Liverpool on goal difference. But no, Fulham have won. So this episode, therefore, is called Anokha.
It might not even happen again in the season. We don't know that.
It is that unique. And this is a tribute to Karthik, who is also very Anokha. And Karthik was excited for the first time in this entire season. It took them 2-3 months for Fulham to bring this kind of emotion out. Karthik, are you better now? Are you done drinking? Are you done enjoying? What's happening with only Fulham? I can't talk about like the cult.
So here's the deal, yeah. So Fulham have won twice this season, and both have been on Monday nights. So you kept saying weekend. That is plainly false. It is Monday Night Football, which is wrong. Okay, not Sunday Night Football. He is completely wrong, Ranveer Singh, when he says it. And I know I said it last week as well.
That's an impression of Ranveer Singh?
And this week, and every time he talks about how Sunday Night Football rocks, this week we ended up seeing that boring ass Chelsea, Tottenham, whatever that was supposed to be the clash of the top two teams. It was so boring. And then we had to watch miserable Arsenal, as we've been having to do over the past many weeks. So yeah. Monday Night Football rocks.
Hope so knew I slept in the second half of the Arsenal game.
A lot of people did for that game, yeah. But I want to keep this episode very short because whatever that happened exciting has happened in the Premier League. So if there's anything else that you guys want to talk about outside of the Premier League, do it now before we go into the break. I'm giving Shiva the first chance.
Is that a personal shot at me? And I don't know why you're going to Shivram first.
Okay. I'll tell you what has happened. Joachim Löw's contract has been extended by Germany. Oh my goodness, what are you saying? Insane news. Maradona
finally 2020 offers something good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, what? Maradona passed away. Messi gave a fantastic tribute. Madrid lost. Barcelona smacked them. Messi did, like I said, a wonderful tribute. And that's it. That's what happened across the world. And we can just move on to the real football right after this break.
Break में नहीं जाते थोड़ा रुको यार break पता है break लेना just hold on यार. We are the hosts. Karthik, you had something to offer about Juventus drawing and Milan winning without Ibra. Are we done?
Yeah, I mean, we can cover all this later. I'll tell you what, even the Premier League was not that interesting this week. This is like those perfect weeks. It came in just after the international break. It's sandwiched between two Champions League midweek matches, two important Champions League match days. So this is like one of those, and I don't mind us doing an extremely short podcast today because this is one of those weekends of football which we are not going to remember. Even today, we don't remember it. The day after it ended that we're recording.
Thank you. So if you have any questions for Shankar Mahadevan, who's on the podcast today, please send them over to us. Right after the break, we'll start answering those.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to an awesome, amazing, incredible week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. Why aren't you? You should. It's absolutely essential that you do. It's IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Another fun week in the books last week, and I think you guys should definitely check out some of the shows that we did. So first, let me tell you about Cock and Bull. We did 2 Cock and Bulls on Cyrus Says last week, which is, I don't think we've ever done before. But there was just so much to talk about, and it was fun. The first one was just on Thrish, myself, and Cyrus. The second one, we had Abhijit Ganguly on, and that was a great episode. Do check that out. Check out Know Your Kanun as well. It's been a while since I spoke about that show, but Umber's been doing a great job on it. This week he spoke to Naina Sharma, a Canadian lawyer, about the ways that you do business in Canada and the challenges that presents. Definitely very interesting stuff. Do check that out. The guys at Nankari are doing some really, really fun stuff. Do check out their latest episode. They talk about roti, the simple bread, but it's got some complications to it. Let them tell you about what they are. Do check that out. Also, do definitely check out the Wire Talks with Siddharth Bhatia. He's been killing it, man. It's just a new show, but what great conversations. This week, he had Siddharth Singh on to talk about pollution. Do check that out. And you know what, guys? The best news of all, Simplified is back. They've been back for a few weeks and I haven't called them out before, but remember that they're back and do check them out. This week they talk about, does censorship make sense? Knowing the guys, I think I know the answer to that, but you should go check that out. And with that, let's go back to your show.
Okay, let's start with fun. Okay, United. 5 points off the top with the game in hand. And fun fact, Cavani has scored the same number of goals, which is 3, in 129 minutes. All of those from the bench than Alexis Sanchez did in his time at United.
Who is this a fun fact for? Like when people say fun fact, I want to understand who is this fun for.
Okay, let me tweak this. Fact. it's a fun part of the fact. Right? Anything that helps us forget Sanchez is good for us as United fans. But we'll talk about that later. How was the match? I didn't watch the match actually, to be really honest.
It was such a good game, man. I think the only standout game. It's like a proper football game where Southampton completely dominated the first half and they looked like they'll cruise and suddenly they crumbled in the second half. And then there was the proverbial comeback and then 3-2 last minute goal. What a game that you missed. Have you watched Tottenham Chelsea?
I saw every other game but for that game. But that's life for me. Karthik, did you see the match?
I did. I completely enjoyed it. But I mean, you're giving out these fun facts or even stats. You can use whatever word. It should not be a surprise, right? Karvani.
Karvani bhaiya.
Sindhi. Not Sindhi.
Edinson Cavani is a world-class footballer. And the way you're saying it, all these goals coming off the bench, you should ask yourself, why is he on the bench in the first place then?
Because the manager believes in his own abilities and the fact that somebody else can imitate what he did at United.
Who's your current striker? Rashford, Martial? Who is your actual striker today? Like other than if Cavani's coming off the...
Igalo. Igalo.
But he's not even in the squad.
He is. He sits on the bench. He lurks around the bench. He'll just come in one day and score a hat-trick. You wait. So United did well. So excited. Finally, some wins under the belt and they're facing PSG next at home. So even if we lose this one, the blow will...
I just want to say one thing about United, but I know that they came back typically in a very typical fashion to win it 3-2. But I mean, I know it's easy saying it now, and you could have predicted this before the match that Manchester United would struggle against a well-coached team, which is what Southampton are. They're, I think, a top 6, a top 7 team at this moment. And for 60 minutes, for 70 minutes, barring a bit of Cavani magic towards the end, I mean, United literally struggled. So I know it's great to say that they have a game in hand and they can probably go to third or if they win that game, if I'm not mistaken. But this is not a club that's, I mean, you should feel too excited for in the coming months.
Oh, we are excited. We feel extremely lucky to get points, 3 points out of a game where you've been seeing either very hot or very cold or go cold within a game which has started well, which happened in the last Champions League match as well. So it's fantastic to get some points in matches where we knew we were going to struggle. The sides like Southampton, like you mentioned. But enough about United. We'll get an opportunity to speak about them next week also when they thrash whoever they're playing. We should be back to... Okay, let's talk about that stalemate. Yes, there was a bit of boring thing that happened during this weekend, which was the London derby. Is that a London derby? I don't know. It is. I don't know what it's called. Though. So, but I just thought it's Jose would have been the happier guy to come out with a point from that match, not having played the best of football. Then Lampard was under pressure to kind of get a victory under his belt every time he plays. What do you guys think?
1, 2, 3 here. I mean, Chelsea are third in the table and Spurs only needed the 1 point. So Spurs, I mean, Mourinho got exactly what he wanted, which I'm sure he set out to do. He set out to park the bus and he did. I think Spurs in the second half had 0 shots and 0 expected goals, which is a surprise from a side that has been firing pretty often. I think this was a safe bet from Mourinho. And he got what he wanted. So, I mean, it's not like the tables turned and Chelsea have no point, like they're at a point of no return. It's a drab draw because it wouldn't shake the tables up too much if both of them got a draw. Both of them have the exact opportunity in hand, and it's a matter of Arsenal beating Spurs next weekend.
Ayer, do you think this match is of significance for a manager who is, in your opinion, probably the one who will win the league this time, who is Mourinho?
I'm not talking about this match. I expected coming here after a Spurs thrashing of Chelsea. It's not happening, which means I'll have to praise Lampard as well again, which I've been doing week on week. I'm not talking about it. Thank you very much.
No, fair point. But so we'll quickly skip the match that disappointed me the most, which is Everton Leeds. That's also partly because I had captained DCL because I thought I'm too smart for like the cat's whiskers, but it didn't turn out to be fruitful for me. But that match was exciting. There were a number of shots that were flying. Both teams had some great chances.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I don't know. I just hope Everton come back. I think it's only the second time that DCL has blanked in this season. So
in the 10 games,
that's pretty astonishing.
Spectacular.
Yeah, that's pretty astonishing.
Yeah, but you're not talking very, very selfishly point pace. He may have blanked only for the second time this season. Everton, though, have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. They don't seem to know how to draw games, pick up a single point. It's either win or bust for them. So, and they're at a lowly 8th, and this is a side that we thought will at least hang around at the top for a while. I mean, Southampton are among them. Ancelotti and Everton have some shame.
I think what you're missing out in that argument is the fact that between the 8th team and the top team, it's a difference of only 5 points.
Yeah.
So a game here and there can easily, because it's still early in the season. And like Sapre famously said, no one can pick a title winner after 10 games. So there's still 28 games to go. I mean, there's a lot of time. I think squad depth will show over a period of time, considering how COVID is bashing squad strength over and over again. Same goes for the injuries because of the schedules that Klopp famously complained about this weekend.
What a whiny guy, man. What a whiny guy. He sits there and he complains about having to play on a Saturday afternoon, a primetime slot. You know who decides this? I get it, the broadcaster. He's fighting with a journalist, saying it's your fault, a BT Sport journalist. The broadcaster decides it along with the Premier League, along with the 20 clubs. Maybe he should go into his boardroom and talk to his owners now first, who have agreed to play at 5 o'clock in the evening because they make more money out of it.
Yeah, but that doesn't make news, na, Karthik.
Yeah.
I went and spoke to my board, doesn't make headlines.
There should be a meme with like Klopp in a press conference with some soundtrack saying, "I'm a complain boy."
Gee, how long have you held that in, man? How long have you held that in?
What, 90 seconds? Right. But no, I think he's upset. A, because he hasn't won that match. B, because he was not expecting he would be fighting with the likes of Spurs and Chelsea, and you're already 10 games in the season and you're not doing so well. And he's getting injuries to players that he didn't want to get injured. No, it's not players off the bench. His defense is gone, and now Milner injured again. So probably all that has just come to bite him now. And I hope that affects Liverpool and they don't win the league this time. I can't see Liverpool winning the league back to back, and it just...
Will they break United's record?
United has had so many records under Ole now. Which record?
No, not Ole's records. I'm not talking about those.
Shivram, how do you beat the record of a new signing only coming off the bench and scoring 3 goals in 120 minutes? Have you heard of that great record or no?
I mean, Alexis Sanchez didn't beat it, so that's 1% down. It's a good record. But seriously, 19 titles will be broken, right? Or is it 18 titles? I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, I think 20 has happened. Now 19 was broken. Now it's United. But now I think Liverpool have to catch up and then...
अरे कहाँ United and title discussions we are doing यार, मतलब छोड़ो भी यार तुम, कहाँ यार, बहुत दूर की बात है. The City will tie with United by the time probably United wins the next title. So transfers are happening. But Jota, guys, is doing, I think he's a contender for the Premier top 11 this season. I think the last time I admitted the first time I realized that how important he's been as a signing for me, like a top transfer for this season. And he's all goals, got so many goals in him. He scored the one in the match against Brighton as well. But we'll talk about the guy who scored 3 goals against Burnley side, who is Riyad Mahrez. And I liked Sivram's question during the match saying how to guess Mahrez. I don't have the answer. Pep doesn't have the answer. That's why it probably doesn't start him as often, or has now actually started him.
I have the answer. He started 7 out of 8 games this season. We just didn't see it. At least in the EPL, he started 7 out of 8.
I don't know. I heard a story or read a story about Mourinho gifting something to, who is that new Madrid boy they've bought? The left
Reguilon. The ham, the 500-pound ham.
The 500-pound ham.
That's the only thing in their trophy case for now.
So from that to a hat-trick, albeit against Burnley, there's still some kind of achievement. Yeah? There's so many goals now coming in Agüero's absence, which is good to see.
Agüero's absence is, I think, momentary. Because over the weekend, from what Karthik rightly said, that he's possibly flown back to Argentina or maybe showing his respect off the field because of Maradona's passing. I think Agüero is going to be... And this midweek game is what I'm going to be watching for City, because whoever starts is going to be a good clue to who will start over the weekend. And I'm pipping because Mahrez played the entire 90 minutes. So for sure, Mahrez is most likely coming off the bench or not playing at all. So that means he might just still be a good pick at 8.5, 8.6 million for your team, because they are playing a high-flying Fulham. And, this is a good opportunity for Mahrez to... I mean, I've said this before last week when I said Leicester. I'm going to bite my tongue again. And I'll say Mahrez is, I think, possibly the best pick, because I love how he plays. He's insanely selfish as a footballer, even though he plays on the wing. I've rarely seen him cut back, so you don't see those many assists, but he gets a lot of goals. So... it might be a good pick for the weekend for your FPL squad.
Karthik, do you think Agüero flew to Argentina not to pay tributes but to sign some papers?
But my point, he probably could. But my point about Agüero is, and I think it's, are you going to get the same Agüero ever? It's easy to say Agüero is going to come back into the 11 and everyone should pick him for fantasy. But it's been a long time since we've seen that goal machine Agüero. He's had injury issues, or are we going to see the Agüero that comes on, doesn't do much, then gets injured again after 2-3 games, is again out for the next 3-4 weeks. So I think it's a bit dicey. I think, I don't know. I wouldn't put all my hopes on Agüero. I would put my hopes on him scoring against Fulham if he does play. That would be a guarantee. But in the
good
future
to clarify.
Weeks, but in future weeks, I'm not really sure. Yeah, this is a guy he could again be dropped or get injured in 2 or 3 weeks. And we're reaching a very, very, very busy period. And we've known from history that even when he was fit and firing, Agüero used to be given rest during the Christmas period for Jesus by Pep.
Who would have thought Sergio Agüero and Eden Hazard would be compared in this manner? About they'll come, they'll get injured, not sure, not scoring goals, will score against teams like Fulham.
No, I just mean Agüero's on the wane. I would love to see Messi come in next year and these two best friends play.
Are blasphemy.
Messi
will never leave Barcelona. Haven't you heard that before, Karthik? Only for the right price.
What you hear on WhatsApp may not necessarily be true.
What do you say? All those forwards my family group has been sending. Are you saying? What do you say? How dare you?
You're gullible as a person. Okay, let's honestly, there's too much talk about goals and who will score goals and not score goals. There's some people who are not scoring goals, which is Arsenal, Karthik. And, Shiva can speak. He'll have his chance.
I actually want to, you mentioned Arsenal. I want to take the first opportunity to absolutely praise Shivram. Simply because I thought it was the stupidest at that time and one of the boldest calls when he said, I think 1 week into the season, drop Aubameyang. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? But what a prediction that has been. Like, if you have dropped him from FPL side, Arteta doesn't have the replacement, so he can't drop him from the Arsenal side. I mean, Auba will be the last person, but Shivram was basically saying he's not going to be, at least stat-wise, the player that he was over the past few seasons. And my God, what a bold call, Shivram. And you've been proven completely right. I don't think there's ever been a better call on this podcast.
Thank you.
To be very honest. Wow. Who would have thought? That. Because this guy used to still always score goals. Even when Arsenal were getting...
playing the same
they were. But at least he was getting goals.
Yeah.
Whether it was from the left wing or the start. And now this is also not happening and he looks pretty disinterested. He is part of the problem, unfortunately, now. But my God, he's last in your list of problems that Arsenal have.
Yeah. I think talking about scoring goals, Arsenal are now tied with DCL for the Golden Boot. So we'll see who wins. we're tied. So, talk about converting chances. And just on the point of statistics, United are 5 points off the top, which is 21 points, and United are 16. Arsenal are only 8 points off the top. They are Let me just quickly tell you how many points. There are 12 points off the bottom. So it's not that, they could be in 20th tomorrow. They could also be first. So we don't know
Yes, but that 12 is a little misleading. You said 8 points off the top. You are 8 points off the relegation zone as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Sheffield, man. Add another 4 and
you're basically assuming that your club is going to rise above the table, Shivram. That's not the way it has been heading over the past few weeks.
No. Let me clarify what I meant. What I meant was Arsenal are shit. I'm sorry that got lost in my statistic. I wasn't able to word my thoughts correctly.
No, we were going to put a soup.
Arsenal is shit. Terrible. I mean, Aubameyang has signed the contract and he's become a government employee. ठीक है, अभी तो नौकरी तो पक्की. ठीक है, तो अभी तो chill pill. ठीक है, left side में Saka will play. Ozil is tweeting from home anyway. There is no. I mean, Gabriel has more goals in the last 3 weeks than Aubameyang. I mean, talk about stats. So
that's the question, and I'll let you continue. But didn't you guys learn from what happens when you give contracts out too easily to star players? You did that to Ozil, and then you're again repeating the same mistake. Itna desperation. One person shines out, and you just want to fall at his feet with everything that you have to offer.
What do you mean by have you not learned? We don't learn. Which part of that don't you understand?
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's been 15 years. Abhi tak wahi kar rahe hum. Abhi Arteta is not going to solve it. And every week I repeat what Karthik said. Arteta is not the main manager. He's best assistant coach. Find another real manager on top of him. Let him assist and find his way up. What does he have for record? That he sat next to Pep and he gave him high fives and Pep won the titles. And even Pep didn't win as many titles when Arteta was assistant, did he? I mean, they've never won the Champions League. So welcome to Arsenal, one other side which hasn't won the Champions League. So why don't you both sit together? But that's the best of what has happened. I mean, for now, there's nothing you can do. This is a project in the future. 2 साल बाद बात करते हैं, फिर देखेंगे क्या हुआ है. अभी I can't even defend that. They can't defend, I can't defend. Fuck it. Let's just move on.
So in Karthik, I'm a big Jack Grealish fan. And Piers Morgan tweeted saying that Arsenal should get Grealish to the Emirates anyhow. Either they pay some £100 million, if not pay £50 million and then give 3 players on top of it, which is Ozil, Mustafi and Xhaka.
They are 50 million combined. What a joke. What a joke.
But will someone like a Jack Grealish make Arsenal a little more respectable team than what they are right now?
You would think so. I mean, he is. I know. I make a lot of fun of him, but Jack Grealish is an outstanding talent. Yeah, when he comes, it is must see football when he's on the field. Like he does things on the field that no other English player can do currently, or not many in the Premier League can do at the moment. But when you say will he make Arsenal a better club, don't you also think in your head why would he come to an Arsenal? It's the same way as why would he come to a United? It is no different. It's
money, Karthik. Money makes the world go round.
Yeah, no. So therefore, if a City or a Liverpool can obviously give him a bit more at this point of time, hell, a Tottenham could give him quite a bit. Yeah, Tottenham they're no paupers. They have quite a bit of money in their coffers. Oh, that rhymes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, he would make, to answer your question, yes, he would, but I don't see him going to Arsenal. They have Danny Ceballos. Why do they need...
He's on loan.
Did you guys see that meme where Arteta is trying to scratch his head?
I sent it.
Something. You sent it, is it? Very funny.
What did I say? What did Pep say then to Kevin?
to fucking fun, dude. So, okay, to kind of summarize, Arsenal are shit. You learned nothing new today. And United is 5 points off the top of the table with a game in hand. That's just summary from the first 15-20 minutes, whatever that we spoke. I am not going to talk about the FPL. And Shiva, you also should not talk about the FPL because Ayer has beaten the both of us.
Yes!
In this week. And,
yeah, he's on 52 points.
Yeah, he's exactly like Fulham, right?
Very nice. Coming from behind.
That's
what she
said. Let Karthik lead this section. Karthik, talk us through what went on for captaining Chilwell and having a Newcastle striker. कहाँ से इतना कहाँ पढ़ते हो आप?
कहाँ
The idea is you just forget that there was a game on a Friday night. So you don't make changes from your previous team. And it'll come good. This has been my team and my captain for 3 weeks now. Because I've constantly forgotten when the deadline is.
Basically, this is a broken clock also tells time
Correct.
Twice in a day.
Correct. Pretty much.
Because you captain Chilwell. So
I've had him for a long time. When I thought one week I'll take a punt on him, I've forgotten to change it. To be fair, and I'm going to end up praising Chelsea and Lampard again. They've kept clean sheets all the time, and he's always given me double points. So he may not be spectacular, but I've always got returns on my captain.
Very nice. Highly nice. The honesty here is top class.
The authenticity is what makes this podcast what it is, which is not heard by many people. That is what this podcast is.
Correct. But what is joined by a lot of people is the Shootball League. You can join it too. The code is H3OMYA. That's H3OMYA. Go to fantasy.premierleague.com, put in H3OMYA, and you can join the fantasy Shootball League as well. Top 5, and it's just amazing how consistent these guys are. Even more consistent than Karthik, who doesn't even change his team. These guys are even better. Can you imagine that? Number one, and he's been number one for a while now. Ankit Kini, Drizzy, 60 points, a total of 679. He's at least 100 points ahead of me. Past the beak, Sapre, Huzefa is on number 2, 655, so fairly far away. Number 3 is Karthik's favorite team, Karan Babla, Bharatiya Janata Party, 60 points, 650 total. Number 4 is Bhokal FC, Shivangi Singh, oh very cool, 61, 647 total. Girisman, which is named after Ameya Giri, is 38. Clearly his team didn't deliver. Griezmann did. But he will still hang on to 5th position. So that's the league for Shootball. Go to fantasy.premierleague.com, type in H3OMYA, and you can join the league too. How did you guys? I know Karthik did well. Sapre, how many points in all this week?
I only got 45 points, and just like Grealish saved my sorry ass. Otherwise, I was on 35 before he played. So there's some amount of relief that he gave me.
Nice, but you're worse than me. You're worse than me though. I'm 47 points.
But this is the first time it has happened that the team of the FPL team of the week has players, and I have none of them. Not a single player of in my team.
That has happened to me many times. That has happened many times. Karthik doesn't even know. Karthik has never heard of this team. You're referring to the FPL team of the week. Yeah.
So I did pretty okay.
Next week? Sorry, finish.
No, nothing finished only. Next week I'll try to do something.
Okay, so we'll focus on what's coming up. I think you can stick with DCL captain. They play Burnley away. Burnley are terrible. City are playing Fulham. So unless Fulham turn another City, Leicester City, which I highly doubt against a team with KDB, I think you have a good opportunity to possibly get Mahrez if it doesn't start on Wednesday. Other games, Chelsea play Leeds. That might be a high-scoring game, contrary to what Leeds Everton was. The other game that I'm also going to talk about is Leicester-Sheffield. I think Leicester, which is Vardy and Barnes, are a good pick. Barnes is also cheap. So might be another shout-out for them to score. And, of course, the spectacular game on, I think, Tuesday night for India is Brighton play Southampton. So, which is a must-watch at 1:30.
Which is what our focus will be in the next episode.
Yeah. We'll deep dive into why Southampton, Che Adams and Venice Danny is coming back, and who is Armstrong.
What does Solly March add to the Brighton team and to the Premier League?
Yeah. They have a player named Gross in it. Tottenham versus Arsenal. Tottenham play Arsenal on Sunday Night Football, which is Ghamasan Yuddh will happen. Tottenham at home, Arsenal. I mean, this is now becoming a matter of dignity. It's not even a matter of pride. It's dignity for Arsenal. They play away to Tottenham. It's fairly close. It's not that far. So you can't blame jet lag, but you can blame your manager. So we'll see what happens there. All the best for your FPL teams. And for the rest of this episode, we will be right back after a quick break.
Are you looking for India's most awesome cricket podcast? Are you now tired of listening to the same old guys drone on about cricket everywhere? Edges and Sledges is a weekly cricket podcast hosted by 3 fans of the game, Varun, DJ, and myself, Ashwin. It was established in early 2018, has over 60 episodes now, and is of course now proud to be on the IVM Podcast Network. Each week, we get together from 3 different time zones, the USA, the UK, and Singapore, and we talk about things from the world of cricket, with a focus on Indian cricket. We often interview special guests from all around the world, including former cricketers and cricket media personalities. So check out Edges and Sledges, the cricket podcast, now on the IVM network.
Okay, welcome back to episode, Sapre, what was this, 11?
11.
Anokha. Yeah. Of Anokha means special or something, right?
Anokha doesn't mean special in the positive sense.
Oh, it means okay. It's like Okay, fine.
It's not a word.
But you get what I'm saying. So okay, Shivram, I know you went off before the break a little down, and you were trying to move away from the fact that there's a match happening this weekend that's huge, which is the North London Derby. So a prediction from you right now. I praised you when you had got Auba's prediction right.
You did.
Yeah. So for what is going to happen this weekend?
For some reason, it feels like you're Veer and I'm Kezu. And you're just making fun of me.
So I'll tell you how it feels to me, because whenever Ole is under pressure at Manchester United, he pulls these victories out of the hat against certain big clubs.
That's true. We did beat United just 3 losses ago, which is true. I mean, now it's not like we beat United. It's like United lost to Arsenal. It's become that kind of an expression. I'm going to go with a 2-1 away victory for Arsenal.
Wow. So see there, you're saving Arteta's job. And I don't think you can. Yeah, I mean, Arteta's job is probably not under threat at all. So 2-1. Sapre, what about you?
I'm going for a 2-0 in Tottenham's favour. I think Arsenal would immaturely try to prove something out and get caught out. Mourinho's smarter in matches like this. They know Arsenal under far more pressure than Spurs are. So chill, Kane is going to score.
That's not a bad deal. I win either way.
Just like Spurs are going to win the title at the end of the season. I continue to maintain that. We will talk more about that next week. I think finally, before we go, I mean, I'm sure everyone has heard one of the greatest footballers ever, Diego Maradona, passed away. Sapre mentioned it, or Shiva mentioned it at the start as well. There's not much we can say about him, simply because that I think he came in a generation before the football came to color television in India, but I'm sure for a lot of people listening as well, it's been your dads or your mums who have told you about Maradona. I think if there's one session, it's not available in India, so go and find it in some other avenue, or maybe it'll come here. There's an Asif Kapadia documentary on Diego Maradona, and it focuses a lot on his days at Napoli, so go check that out. It gives a pretty good picture on why he is so revered. Yeah, is there anything else you guys want to add? Or where?
What about Maradona from Sapre? So what does that?
So I'll tell you what, that's. So but then when you go and watch some of his highlights, right? That guy, the ball was an extension, of that foot. It is crazy. And this comes at a point where they used to get kicked. Yeah. Every football was probably, I think, a game to vent out your frustrations for, I think, married men. It was seriously like.
What? Why did this suddenly become Big Boss?
I don't. You know what it looks like sometimes watching old football. Like this balding British uncle has come to play. He's so sick of his kids at home that he's coming there and kicking the balls of everyone else, so nobody has to go through what he has been through.
Is that how you think of Jason Statham?
You know what? When I said bald British middle-aged, I was picturing Statham in my head.
This is the Uruguayan
transport you.
Yeah. Uruguayan equivalent of what men in Bombay do in local trains when they travel to work. It's like get all the frustration out. But on that very beautiful note and that very visual picture in our head, do check the documentary out. It's a lovely documentary. And we'll see you next week. A lot of matches, Champions League matches, United playing PSG at home, and some other smaller matches. Atletico Bayern Munich happening right now. And that's about it. Have a lovely week. We'll see you the next time with Brighton update.
So if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Fickleberry Hun on Twitter and Instagram. That's Huckleberry Finn, but Fickle.
If you want to reach out to me, I am Sapre on Twitter and G Sapre on Instagram.
You can reach out to me at iRant, which is IYERANT on Twitter and Instagram. This is Football Shootball. Recognize.
Whether you're an established sports person or a budding one, or simply a sports enthusiast, join us, Tanvi and Shlok.
We are two passionate pro badminton players talking policy, mindset and everything sport.
So tune in to The Millennial Athlete every Monday.
Only on the IVM Podcast Network.
Trust us, it's gonna be lit.
पेश खिदमत है आपकी शान में हमारे अंजुमन से. Hi, I am Sadaf.
And I'm Arshit. खाने का इतिहास, इकोनॉमिक्स, पॉलिसी, साइकोलॉजी सब है मेन्यू पे।
ओनली ऑन द नानकारी पॉडकास्ट एवरी वेडनेसडे, सिर्फ IVM पॉडकास्ट ऐप या वेबसाइट पर, या फिर जहां से भी आप अपने पॉडकास्ट सुनते हो।